This is the Kaaba, located in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, and it is the holiest site in Islam. Each day, hundreds of millions of Muslims around the world face in its direction during their prayers. Even hotel rooms feature arrows on their ceilings pointing toward it. Throughout history, kings, emperors, and nation-states have competed for control over it, and the need to know its location from anywhere in the world sparked advancements in astronomy and trigonometry. So, what exactly is the Kaaba, and why is it so significant in Islam? The word Kaaba means cube in Arabic, though the building itself isn't perfect. Standing about 15 meters tall and 12 meters wide, it's taller than it is wide, and its sides vary slightly in width. The structure is made of irregularly shaped granite stones held together with mortar, with a flat wooden roof covered in metal. Since it doesn't rain much in Mecca, the flat roof is generally not a problem, but when it does rain, flooding becomes a concern. In the 1600s, a golden rain spout was added on the northwest side to mitigate this. Muslims worldwide face the Kaaba in mosques worldwide when they perform daily prayers, a direction known as the Qibla, marked by a niche in the wall called a mihrab. Additionally, physically and financially able Muslims must make a pilgrimage to Mecca at least once in their lifetime to complete the Hajj. Millions also visit outside of Hajj to perform Umrah, a non-mandatory but highly regarded pilgrimage. The Kaaba is housed within the larger mosque complex known as Masjid al-Haram. This mosque has undergone numerous expansions and redesigns over centuries, with the latest expansion project running from 2008 to 2023, allowing it to host up to 3 million visitors at a time. However, some aspects of this expansion, including the construction of a controversial clock tower, have been criticized for being built over historically significant sites, such as graves of early Muslim figures. The area directly around the Kaaba is called the Mataf, or the place of Tawaf. Tawaf refers to walking around the Kaaba 7 times in a counterclockwise direction, a vital part of the Hajj. Pilgrims perform Tawaf upon entering Masjid al-Haram to signal the beginning of their Hajj, again before heading to Mina for the stoning of the devil ritual, and once more as a farewell to conclude their pilgrimage. One of the most significant features of the Kaaba is the black stone embedded in a silver frame on its eastern corner. While some scholars believe this stone is a meteorite that predates Islam, Muslim tradition links it to Adam and Eve, claiming that it fell from heaven to help them reunite after being separated. Over the years, the stone has been damaged and broken into pieces, but it was reassembled and placed back in its current position. The black stone is a focal point for many pilgrims who hope to touch or kiss it during their visit. Although some theologians are skeptical about the intense focus on the black stone, they emphasize that Muslims do not worship the Kaaba or the stone itself. Instead, their devotion is directed to God. The act of Tawaf has several symbolic interpretations. Some say it represents creation orbiting around God, while others see it as reflecting the movement of the planets or galaxies around a central point. The number 7 is significant in Islamic cosmology, representing completion or perfection, as seen in the concept of the 7 heavens. Ultimately, many Muslims explain it more simply. They perform Tawaf because the Prophet Muhammad did so and because God commanded it. During Tawaf, pilgrims encounter several notable features, including the multazam, or place of clinging, where they offer supplicatory prayers, pressing their hands, chest, and cheeks against the wall of the Kaaba. Just beyond the multazam are the Kaaba's golden doors, set 2 meters above the ground and accessible only via a movable staircase when necessary. The interior of the Kaaba is off-limits to the public and only accessible to certain dignitaries, religious scholars, and maintenance workers. Inside, the space is relatively simple, with 3 wooden pillars supporting the roof, a storage cabinet, and a series of lamps and incense censers. Scented oils stored in the cabinet are used to perfume the Kaaba during its annual washing. A ladder leads to the roof, mainly used for cleaning and replacing the kiswa, the cloth that adorns the Kaaba. An interesting thought experiment arises. Can Muslims perform daily prayers inside the Kaaba? Scholars have debated this topic extensively. Some argue that it is permissible, while others believe it is not, as one would technically be turning their back on a portion of the Kaaba while praying. Upon entering, pilgrims will notice a metal and glass case to their right, known as the Station of Abraham, which contains the stone said to bear Abraham's footprints. Various stories explain how his footprints were imprinted on the stone, with one suggesting it marks the moment when Abraham stood on the stone to raise his son Ishmael to complete the construction of the building's upper parts. As pilgrims reach the northeastern wall, they see small brown stones set into white marble, marking the Maqam Jibra'il, or the prayer place of Gabriel. It is believed that this is where the angel Gabriel taught Muhammad how to perform the daily prayers. Moving around the corner, pilgrims will encounter the Hijr, a low, semicircular marble wall. This area is considered part of the Kaaba, built by Abraham, and its name derives from an Arabic root meaning broken, referring to its incomplete state during later reconstructions. Also called the Stone of Ishmael, Abraham built a structure here for Ishmael and Hagar. Because it is considered part of the Kaaba, pilgrims are not allowed to enter the Hijr during Tawaf, though many attempt to pray in this area as it is linked to significant events in the life of Muhammad. Directly above it is the Font of Mercy, a rain spout that is said to carry extra blessings when water flows from it. After passing the Hijr, the remaining two sides of the Kaaba are less distinct, and pilgrims often use this space to draw closer to the building in hopes of touching the black stone or pressing against the multazam during their following circuit. While the Kaaba is a modest structure, it is often covered with the kiswa, an ornate cloth. Today, the kiswa is predominantly black with gold embroidery, though in the past it was made in various colors such as red, white, and green. The kiswa's embroidery includes Quranic verses framed by decorative borders. Each corner of the cloth features a medallion embroidered with the name of the corresponding corner, one named after the black stone and the others after Iraq, the Levant, and Yemen, corresponding roughly to the cardinal directions. The kiswa, made of silk, is produced in Mecca by over 100 workers and is replaced annually during the Hajj. The old kiswa is often cut into pieces and distributed to museums or as gifts. The Kaaba has a rich history, but much remains unclear to historians. According to the Quran, the first house of worship appointed for men was that at Bakka, full of blessing and guidance for all kinds of beings. Most commentators agree that Bakka is an alternate name for Mecca. Some Muslim scholars believe this verse implies that Adam built the first altar to God in Mecca after being cast out of the Garden of Eden. Other Quranic verses mention Abraham building the Kaaba. And remember, Abraham and Ishmael raised the foundations of the house with this prayer: Our Lord, accept this service from us, for thou art the all-hearing, the all-knowing.